Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The coronavirus has killed more than 33,000 people in the United States, with more than 670,000 confirmed cases. On Thursday, President Trump announced details of his administration's guidelines for states to open up America again. CBS's Elise Preston has the latest.
President Trump unveiled plans for reopening America.
My administration is issuing new federal guidelines that will allow governors to take a phased and deliberate approach to reopening their individual states.
The president says some states will reopen sooner than others. White House Task Force member Dr. Deborah Birx said the plan includes workplace measures such as temperature checks, social distancing, protective equipment, and disinfection. The 18-page guidelines do not include details governors have asked for, like how to ramp up testing or expand contact tracing. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced he's extending the statewide shutdown until May 15th, along with other states.
What happens after then? I don't know.
New York has seen more than 14,000 reported coronavirus deaths so far. Adele Basili-Marcus, an intensive care doctor at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital, says many patients are young with no past medical history.
This patient here, it's a pregnant patient who is unfortunately at the verge of being intubated. We're trying to save her.
The coronavirus has ripped through one of New Jersey's largest nursing homes, where police, acting on a tip, found 17 bodies in a morgue designed for 4.
I am also outraged that bodies of the dead were allowed to pile up in a makeshift morgue at the facility.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
But while the nation struggles and looks to the future, Americans are finding new ways to show courage together. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
In phase 3 of the government plan announced today, public spaces such as restaurants, theaters, and sporting venues can operate under strict physical distancing protocols. Back in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear held a quieter news conference than yesterday. 159 new cases were reported. One case is a 10-day-old baby in Lincoln County. That brings the total to 2,429. 7 more deaths were reported in Kentucky, bringing the death toll to 129. The governor also announced 4 new testing sites will be open next week, including 2 in our area, Somerset and Pikeville. He also says he expects tomorrow to be one of Kentucky's largest day of new cases. He says part of that has to do with an increase in testing. Hundreds of protesters converged on the Capitol grounds in Frankfort yesterday to advocate for reopening Kentucky businesses amid the COVID-19 outbreak. But those protests brought a few changes to the Capitol grounds today. Nick Oliver explains.
The changes to the Capitol are some that are impossible not to notice. Caution tape blocking off half the lawn and barriers around the room where Governor Andy Beshear gives his daily update. On the inside, thick foam added to drown out any possible noise. But the biggest, protesters now forced to remain in their vehicles in a designated area nowhere near the governor.
This is a really difficult tension between people's rights to gather and people's right to not be hurt. And it's tough. But the mass gathering that happened yesterday is exactly the kind of mass gathering that we have public health orders that say are prohibited right now.
24 hours later, no crowd but a few stragglers.
Put us back to work. Get the machine going again.
Joseph Sullivan from Georgetown came to see if anyone was like him and fed up. He didn't find many at the Capitol, but says the changes are another step too far.
I just thought it was a ridiculous ploy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see the sense in it. What statement are they trying to claim?
Out of the few protesters that were here today, they say while they can't pass this caution tape and they aren't able to go up to the window of Governor Andy Beshear's press briefing room and scream through it, they say they don't need any of that anyways. They say the governor will still be able to hear their message.
People are finally stepping up and saying enough's enough. You know, I love what they're doing in Michigan and Lansing, and it needs to spread to all the states. We need to tell these politicians, you work for us. It's time to sit down. Let us go back to doing our jobs.
At the Capitol, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky State Police had dozens of troopers standing by during the governor's briefing today. Leaders say they will be enforcing the rules. With the coronavirus pandemic and recent power outages, feeding kids through schools has become more difficult. Several schools in Leslie County still do not have power, which made them not able to deliver meals 3 days this week. Today was the first day they could offer meals through a curbside service. Heather Gay, the principal at Mountain View Elementary, says feeding kids is a top priority.
And unfortunately, we can't run the buses and deliver those meals out today, but we've tried our best to get the information out and the word out to all over the community.
Any child that is 18 years old or younger is able to get a meal. Today, meals were given out at Mountain View Elementary, Leslie County High School, and W.B. Muncie Elementary. The Asheville, North Carolina Fire Department got face masks donated all the way from Harlan. Harlan native Vince Bianchi's wife, Courtney, ordered a pair of masks after seeing Joyce Chang's posts on Facebook about sewing them. Because of the shortage in N95 masks, Joyce did not only send them for free, but sent enough for other firefighters and EMTs. But of course, they all had Kentucky Wildcat print on the inside.
Those guys aren't really UK people, but I know what, I know the meaning behind it. So, and then the other side was the neutral color black, so we could use it with our uniforms and stuff like that. So they were excited. They were super excited.
Joyce has already passed the 800 mark on her 1,000 mask goal. Eastern Kentucky has ties to the COVID-19 pandemic in New York. A Floyd County native said she chose to work with COVID-19 patients at NYU Winthrop Hospital. WYMT's Dakota Makris shares her story.
These sirens becoming all too familiar in New York.
There's so much need right now.
This is one of the reasons why Whitney Smith felt the need to head there.
There was a very good chance that I was going to be exposed to COVID no matter where I was, so I might as well go ahead and go to the heart of it where they need the most people.
Smith works at NYU Winthrop Hospital as a traveling nurse. She is our eyes and ears to the daily life of a frontline worker.
There's an attitude of this is absolutely exhausting. I can't wait till this is over, but let's go at it 100% until it is. Let's be here for these patients. Let's get them better.
The exhausting part, wearing personal protective equipment.
All of the energy that I have is drained from just the heat that you've experienced being in that protective equipment.
But the exhaustion is worth it.
When I get to help these patients and they do have a good day, but it's one of those situations that knowing that there are those patients who are getting better and going home, it's like, you know what, this is worth it.
And documenting her work on Facebook.
There's just been a lot of people who know that I'm here, who've asked me to keep everybody updated. People need to see the positivity. I think they need to see the side of it where there's so much hope.
Dakota Makris, WYMT, Mountain News.
Smith says this pandemic will eventually be over, and we should all try to remain positive during this time.
It was another beautiful day here in the mountains. We even saw a beautiful evening out there, that sunset gorgeous on our UVA-wise camera. We'll go ahead and take you up to that where you could see that we saw plenty of sunshine earlier today and that sunset was gorgeous. Really not a cloud in the sky. Looking over into I-75 along Mount Vernon, quiet over there, and we'll continue the quiet trend tonight, but by this time tomorrow night, it's going to be a little bit more different as we bring back some rain chances. But for now, we are seeing those temperatures into about the low to mid 40s. We're going to be a little bit warmer heading into tonight. Those temperatures are going to start to warm up as we head into the next few days. However, some spots already dropping into the 30s, especially in those valleys. Now, as we head throughout the rest of this evening, or really overnight hours, we're going to continue to see those clouds start to increase. It's mostly going to happen as we head into those very early morning hours. Temperatures really only expected to drop into the upper 30s to lower 40s. And then we're going to start your Friday out with a mixture of sun and clouds as we head throughout the day, but we're going to warm up pretty quickly. You can see by noon already into the lower 60s. We're expected to get into hopefully the upper 60s for tomorrow. However, by tomorrow night, we do see those rain chances starting to return. We do see sunshine throughout most of the day, and we'll see some sunshine heading into the weekend. We're also going to warm up as we head into the weekend, and especially as we head into the new week. I'll have more on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. The cleanup from Sunday's windstorm is still going on, but fewer people are in the dark tonight. Less than 9,000 Kentucky Power customers are without electricity now. The wind knocked out power all across Perry County. One of the hardest hit areas was Skyline Drive, leading up to the old La Citadel Motel. As families work to get their trees removed, the crews that are tasked with doing the work are pulling some long hours.
I'm going to have to top them right here where the limbs come and bring them down from the bottom of that part and then hook onto them and pull everything out of the mountains down here and haul it off. It's a bad job, but somebody's got to do it.
Jobs like this can cost into the thousands and take days to finish. We are still seeing more and more of the damage left behind by Sunday night's windstorm. Some may not have power until Sunday. But in Letcher County, one family is not focused on getting power, but finding a new home. WYMT's Connor James talked with them earlier today.
The high winds that tore through the mountains left widespread damage but took no lives.
Yeah, I thank God we weren't there.
That's Rachel Sizemore. Sunday night winds howled outside her home.
I could hear the wind coming through the walls. I mean, I could just hear it. And I opened the door and looked out and listened, and it sounded like a train coming through the hills.
It was that noise that prompted the family to leave. This is what they came back to.
We lost everything. He threw wood out my daughter's room. He destroyed everything my little ones had. Toys, diapers, clothes.
The family is already financially struggling, having to pick between home and truck insurance. They chose the latter.
We didn't think nothing like this would ever happen, so we chose truck insurance.
Living here for 15 years, they have 3 kids. The oldest is 12, the youngest only 4 months old. They've hunkered down here the past month amid the pandemic.
My husband's severe asthma, and I have high blood pressure, which is hypertension. So during the coronavirus, we stayed home. And to know that we don't have safety anymore, my kids don't have a home.
They're living with a friend as they try to figure out what to do next. But through it all,
yeah,
very blessed because
still got all of our lives.
My little kids would have been killed.
They're still thankful they're together. In Letcher County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Tough situation there. Coming up at 11, find out how people are able to celebrate while still keeping their distance.
And we'll see some sunshine heading into tomorrow, but we'll also see those rain chances Friday night into your Saturday. I'll have the breakdown of that forecast coming up.